Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Gamester81. I know in my last video I promised on my Nintendo Play Choice 10 review, I said I picked up a arcade. I gave you some hints. A lot of you guys guessed correctly. I can't speak today, I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm about to show you this review. This will be my 5th arcade cabinet I have. I have the Ultimate Arcade 2, I got a Cocktail Arcade, a Neo Geo 4-cap, Nintendo Play Choice 10, and I have this one. So this will make it 5. By all means, I've seen other YouTubers here in the community that have amazing amount of machines. I've seen up to 17, and it's awesome to see people collecting arcades. So I'm not there yet, but you know, slowly but surely I'm growing. But before I get started on this review, this is my 100th video uploaded. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone for your guys' support. Thank you for watching my videos. You know, subscribers aren't everything to the world, you know, to me. But the fact that people take the time to comment and watch my videos, that's just amazing. Thank you so much. And interesting enough, my least favorite video of mine is my most viewed. And my favorite video of mine is my least viewed. So that's okay though. So thank you so much for watching, guys. But I've done a couple collaboration videos in the past. I've done one with Sinister Moon, Mike, he's awesome. Done one with Vintage Video Game Geek, super nice guy. And I'm really excited to announce another fellow YouTuber here to join me on my review. You guys might recognize him. He's a fellow YouTuber. He's got a great channel. If you like this particular genre, definitely check him out. Subscribe if you like what you see. There's a link on the sidebar here. But please give me a warm welcome and bring in Starwarsnut77. Thank you for joining us. Well, first off, Gamester81, thank you so much for having me on your channel. It's one of my favorite channels for sure to watch. But anyway, if you guys haven't guessed it already, what we're about to show you, Gamester81 and myself, we're about to show you a really cool stand-up arcade. It's called Star Wars. The arcade it's by Atari, came out in 1983. Now, I'm sure you guys already assumed that. You got that right by now. I know a lot of you guys in the past video guessed correctly. Now, this game is immensely popular. It's rated the fourth most popular arcade game there is on the Killer List of Video Games, which is a website that keeps track of that kind of thing. Also, it's in top 50 of the best arcade games of all time. So it's a great game. Not only is it a great movie, in our opinion, it's a great game as well. And Atari did a fantastic job with this arcade. It came out in the heart of the golden age of video games. It came in 1983. Now, because of the popularity, they did port it to several console home versions. I have a few I want to show you. You got your 2600 version right here, which is for the Atari 2600 video game system, and it's decent. I mean, it's Atari graphics, and obviously the sound isn't that great, but for Atari 2600, all considering, it's not that bad. And Parker Brothers was the game publisher for these games. LucasArts was not really around making games for consoles during this time in the early 80s. You got your 5200 version. These are huge carts. These are Atari 5200. It was never ported to the 7800 for some reason or another. I don't know why. It was ported to the Atari 8-bit computer, as well as 16-bit computers, which I'll get to in a minute. I've also got a ColecoVision version. Now, the thing to keep in mind with these ports is the original arcade is vector graphics. Okay, it's a special kind of graphics, which is more linear. Okay, obviously the console versions, they try to mimic that as much as possible. Couldn't quite get it as well, but it's still a great version. There was a rumored to be a kind of homebrew version for the Vectrex, which is a really cool video game console I did a review on earlier, and there's a homebrew version of that Star Wars arcade for that, which is awesome because that actually specializes in vector graphics. I've also got a Commodore 64 floppy version, which is the sound is awesome on this, and this is probably my favorite home port for retro ports. It was also ported to the 16-bit computers, so you got your Amiga, your Atari ST computers, etc. So forth. So those are great ports. Also, if you're lucky enough, or I should say unlucky enough, to own a 32X, which is by Sega, it's sent to add on to the Genesis, they had a version right here, which is the arcade, Star Wars arcade for the 32X, which is awesome. Also, if you have a GameCube and you own Rogue Squadron 3, Rebel Assault, I believe it is, definitely they have. I think there's like a built-in game for they have the Atari. I'm sorry, they have this version of the arcade in that game. I can't speak today, but anyway, check that out. So let's take a closer look at this arcade, and thank you so much, for Gamester, for having me on your channel here. It's a true honor, and let's check it out. Okay, so here we are. This is the Atari Star Wars stand-up arcade. Now this version is also available in a cockpit sit-down arcade, which is really, really cool. I would love to have a version of that, but this will work just as well. I'll show you a little closer look at this, but this is decorated really nicely. There's artwork pretty much all over it, besides the screen, obviously. Now this machine works in pretty good shape. It's overall there's little wears and tears. It's 26 years old, so it's kind of to be expected. But the only thing that this is missing is the monitor board. The monitor works, the game board works, controls work great. This thing is really hard to tell, but this thing is lighting up right now. The only thing that I'm missing is the monitor board, and it's a vector graphics monitor board, so it's a little harder to find than a usual monitor board, but I know there's forums and places that you can pick one up. I've heard that they range from anywhere from like 100 to 150 bucks, so I figure once I get that board, what I plan on doing, this is what the attachment looks like. All I need to do is, I have the instruction manuals, I got the manuals for this as well, so I'm hoping to do this on my own. It's going to be a project of mine to work on it. Get it, attach it to here, attach these hooks up, then there's like a bolt in the back of the monitor, and once it works, that'll be great. I mean, it does play blind. There's sound to it. I'll show you. I'll demonstrate that in a minute. The sound chips on this thing are amazing. Back in 1983, there's voices and stuff like that actually speaks to you. It's pretty cool. Let's take a closer look at this arcade. Now, before I show you, I'll show one more thing. There's a kit you can get to play Empire Strikes Back as well, which you can convert it to an Empire Strikes Back arcade, which is super cool. So let's take a closer look at this great machine. So here's the back. We'll start with the back. I got the serial number, model number is 27900. A little information about Atari, 1983. Got the volts and amps and all that good stuff. This is the back. Now, see these? This is where it hooks up. That tray I just showed you would hook up there. You bolt in there, and then you hook the monitor board up to the monitor for it to work. Now, if you guys know where I can find a monitor board, I would really greatly appreciate that. If you find one for me, that'd be super awesome. It's a vector monitor board, which vector graphics are the linear graphics. So you got the Vectrix system that I showed you earlier, which kind of has all these cool lines. It's played in several colors, which is really neat. So let's check out the front. Start with the side here. The side artwork is super cool. This side is very good condition. You got pretty much different art pretty much everywhere on the screen on the arcade here. This is the marquee. And these are the controls. You pretty much go up, down, left, right, and then you get your triggers here. This is for missiles. And then you got a little artwork down there, and a little ding right there. But that's kind of expected, and it's 26 years old. So, but overall, I'm really pleased with the condition of this arcade. I've seen much worse, and I'm very excited to hopefully get this fixed. And once I do, it cost me so much less than what I could have paid for it. What I've seen for it go for. I've seen this machine go for a couple grand easy. So anyway, let's check out the sound and a little demonstration of this machine. Okay, so what I need to do now is open it up, and then you can play free play. You just open this key, this coin mechanism up, push it down once. As you can see, it's got voiceovers, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mark Hamill, there's Darth Vader in here.
First prize standing by.
And it's going to boot up here in a minute. So the triggers work. Pretty much just plays blind. But it's vector graphics, so I'll show you some pictures of the game and see what it looks like, but
I'm going in.
there's 3 basic stages to this game. There's a stage where you got TIE fighters firing at you, and the object isn't necessarily to hit every TIE fighter, just to avoid the bullets that are firing at you. There's a second stage in here where you're actually on the Death Star, and you got these terrorists firing at you and stuff like that, and you got to fire at them. And then the third stage of this game, you're actually in the trench like the movie, and you're supposed to blow up the Death Star. So there's 3 basic stages of this game. And the basic object of the game, obviously, is to destroy the Death Star, but also to survive. You're not necessarily have to hit every enemy, unlike a lot of games back in the day. So I think I died, but thank you so much for watching, guys, and may the Force be with you. Thanks.